Neonix modding team have been trying to make IGI-2 great again for a while. But with the entire team working on all these different projects for the upcoming Neonix update, they don't tell me much. They just share a random sneak peek image into their Discord server without the attached information about what's going on. And the reason they do that is because they don't trust me. Do I really sound like a guy who spoils things? So as a YouTuber, of course I need to upload some content, which is why I have been keeping an eye on all of those sneak peek images, whether they were available temporarily or permanently. But not just that, I have been contacted by an ex-beta tester, who has also shared me some images to look at. Since the person does not want to be revealed, then all I can say is the community thanks you, and let's get straight into this. First of all, Neonix modding team dropped this banger of a soundtrack, which is supposed to be the new background music for Weather Station, the third mission. And was this necessary? Yes, because if you remember, the third mission's background music was just... It was just some scary ambiance that reminded me of the White Walkers from Game of Thrones. And if you listen to the soundtrack carefully, I don't know what was the idea, but from what it feels like, this music is trying to act like the third mission soundtrack from the first game. It's trying to match the ambiance, and it doesn't completely remove the original music. It is blended in if you can listen carefully. I did try playing the music in the background while playing the game to see how it feels like, and to be honest, the first and the last segment, that is absolutely spot on. But I am getting some mixed feelings about these guitar segments. Not sure what you would feel like, but it's like a 7.5 or 8 out of 10 for me. And now let's get into the next part of the video, which is about the leak files I found. Now, as I said, these are some images that I collected, or I got them from the beta tester. Also, Neonix released a recent video showcasing his development cycle, so I had to compare and cross-check all of the references to see what's what. And if we take a look at the images itself, so what have we here? It's a screenshot of the first level. Okay. Let's compare this to the original. From what I managed to gather, is that this version has a truck right there and a few extra street lamps. And there's a new gas tower over here, if that is a gas tower. From what I can speculate is that there could possibly be a sniper on top of here, and we could actually climb onto this and use this position. That sounds like fun if it is the case. And then we can see some changes in the terrain. But that was pretty obvious if we look at the development pipeline video. Then we can see that the terrain actually looks a little bit different. It does feel like the texture quality is going to be way better in this update, which will definitely mean a huge download size. And then the next thing we can see is a comparison of two different textures. If you couldn't recognize where this is from, then these are from the LCD screens that show up in the cutscenes. What we can see is that the old texture is a bit rough, but this one is just smooth and clean, which means this is probably what we would be expecting from most of the game's texture files this time. But this is where things get interesting. It's called Destructible Environment. I did get the hint, but I just couldn't believe it. I thought that is absolutely impossible, but then I did play the game a little, went straight to the place where this truck was, and oh, wait! Don't tell me we can actually destroy vehicles now. If that's the case, then Mini-Me is going to be my favorite gun then. And then we have the developer's console available. I'm sure most people are going to find crazy stuff to do with this. Now, I did had some news and idea about the storyline being a bit different, but this screenshot explains it all. They've actually added new voice lines and new dialogues. As you can see, this is what Philip White is explaining to Jones about where these people come from and what do they do. So this is going to make things a bit more interesting. But the hype may just take another peek with this screenshot. Take a look at that. Yeah, these guys aren't rookies, are they? David Jones is actually going to react to situations now, at least the scripted ones. He did kill some guards in this room, but what is this? The MP5 looks so much more crisp. Let's compare this with the last MP5. As you can see, it looks properly metallic now. From what I understand is that this is an inspiration from the beta version. But then it's not only the MP5, so is the sniper rifle. Seems like this is an image from the beta, but I think they just restored the beta sniper here. The AK-47 textures are supposed to look more clean. For a comparison, let's just put a few screenshots. The AUG as well, I think it has a makeover now. And then the Desert Eagle. The Deagle textures from the last update was very different from the original game anyways, but they did some changes with this one here. But the more interesting thing is, why is there a Magnum on the ground? This could possibly mean two things. You can actually use the Magnum in the multiplayer. I use that thing a lot. So this is either a screenshot taken from the multiplayer, or either the Magnum can be equipped in the single player now. If that is the case, then it should have been in the retail release. It was such a wasted potential. But I hope this is where it will get some spotlight now. The hand grenade, it was improved in the last update, so I think there's very minimal changes here. But if you're not interested in the grenade just like me, the next image may blow your mind. Not sure about you, but yes, I did get blown away with this. Finally, the main menu screen will not be stuck at 480p. That's a relief. If you remember the new IGI-1 version of the main menu, then I think you can see the inspiration and the idea. And now we have a screenshot from Weather Station. When the Neonix team uploaded that soundtrack on their channel, the cover image for that soundtrack showcased a sniper, and then I could see somebody posted a comment asking for that sniper in the actual game, to which Neo replied there will be. And this is the proof. There actually is a sniper tower now. The plus point to this is that the PSG is not useless anymore. You are going to need it to kill this guy at least, and I'm not sure how many more snipers are going to be there in this level. The next screenshot, I think this probably is a mistake since it's exactly the same from the original game, but let me double check. Okay, it's not a bluff. Let me explain. I think they have added some extra cuts or extra scenes because he is not supposed to say this dialogue on this frame. As is the case with the very next frame and a couple of more ahead, we can see that these are new takes for the cutscenes. So this is going to be really exciting and cool because they have made changes to the whole storyline now. And then the next couple of frames, what we can get is that they have removed the borders from cutscenes. So they are not going to look like this anymore. And I'm not going to have to stretch them in my Premiere to make them look good. But then the most special part, they didn't tell me what this is. But from my thoughts, this is a new loading screen. Not only will the loading screen not waste our times with useless information now, but we are going to read the story from Jones' point of view. And also I'm getting the impression from this mission's information is that the next mission, ambush, is not going to be starting from the right side of the bridge anymore. It could be that they have made a new bunker, and that is where Jones will start the mission. And then I do not really know what's going on here, but I have never seen this sky, this terrain, this level anywhere, so could possibly be a test for a new map, and that many Jones might be a stability test to possibly make the map work on a 60 FPS setting. Yet again, I'm not really sure what this screenshot is supposed to do. Let's just recreate that scenario from the vanilla game and okay, now I see what's going on. Look at that. New rocks and new trees. And I have seen a beta image where there is a huge pile of trees down there. By the looks of it, seems like they are restoring the beta environment. By whatever we've seen so far, especially with the guns and stuff, it seems like they are not only restoring the beta content, but they are making it better. So since this mission has a whole new soundtrack, let's see how this will feel like in the final game. What else do we have is an image that probably means that the game can be played in windowed mode now. And we have a model which is pretty obvious what it's supposed to be. I'm just not sure where are we going to... Is that Captain Harrison? This figure somewhat appears to be looking like Captain Harrison, but I doubt he will be included in this game. I'm just not sure where do we interact with this soldier in the game. And then we found screenshots from the 4th level bridge across the Nestor. My biggest complaint about that level was that it was so dark and repulsive when it comes to the looks. But they have changed the lighting, the time of the mission, and it actually looks beautiful now. My biggest complaint about IGI-2 is that the environments no longer feel as cozy as they did in IGI-1. But this, I think, could change things a bit. Let's see how this mission will feel like. And then in the end, the final image that I got from the beta tester, what is this? It appears to be that... Now I get it. Do you remember in IGI-1 if you go too close to a guard, then he starts to melee attack you? that animation wasn't present in I.G.I 2. I think they are restoring that animation. Or I could be wrong and maybe it's just like a sniper cleaning his scope. Something similar to what we have seen in the first game. But either way, both the animations were missing from the second game. So this is a win-win situation, whatever animation that is. Whatever I have talked about so far is just speculation from my side. Neo is trying to keep things a secret, but the I.G.I community cannot wait that patiently and they just keep mentioning, tagging me everywhere and asking me to provide some news or tell them something at least. Then I guess this is the least bit I could do for the current situation. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you want more I.G.I related content, keep following the channel and be seeing you in the next video. Hasta la vista, baby.